Welcome back to the Global Local Top Tips, and today we're making Guinness and treacle bread. It's an unusual one. It's not sweet, it's not savoury, but it is fantastic. Let's get stuck in. I've got my metal pot on here. It's on a very, very low heat. I'm just going to add in my 400 mils of milk, 200 mils of your best Irish Guinness, and look, you can use beer for this or any other style. Doesn't really make a terrible amount of difference really. I'll just use the Guinness. I've got a teaspoon of salt. I've got 4 teaspoons of treacle, and you can also use honey or you can use maple syrup. I just like the taste of the treacle in here. It just seems to have a stronger flavour that kind of breaks through all them other ingredients. And I've got 60 grams of butter, and I've just put it on in there. Gently melt it all together till the butter and everything is incorporated, and we'll take it from there. I've got my metal bowl again, and I'm going to put in 120 grams of flour. You can use strong flour, baker's flour, plain flour. Strong flour is probably best to use. I like using the baker's flour. And then we've got 500 grams of wholemeal flour straight in there. I've got 2 teaspoons of bicarb soda. And then I've got 30 grams of oatmeal. And you can use pinhead oatmeal, is fantastic for this because it gives a nice little bite. But I've got oatmeal here, and I'm just going to put that in. Give it a quick stir. Just make sure all that bicarb is mixed in there, because the bicarb does tend to lump up a little bit. Just mix it all in through there, and then just going to get my mix. Give it another little stir so you can see that it mixes all up there. That's the Guinness and the milk and everything. I'm going to put it straight in. And mix it up. And this is a really unusual one because the liquid is warm in here, okay? And so it's gonna, you can really get them smells straight away. There's no kneading in this recipe, just basically bringing it into that, making sure it's all mixed through, there's no dry spots. There you go. Get our bread tin ready, get it in the oven. So I've got my bread tin here, just your standard loaf tin, and I've greased it with some greaseproof paper and some spray oil. And I'm just going to get all that mix in there. And you want to just push it down into the tin a little bit, but I don't want that perfectly smooth finish to it. I want it to be relatively rough. And this bread is unusual in the way that we're not just going to put it into the oven and just leave it. We can't do that because the sugar content is quite high because of that treacle or honey that you've used. We're going to do it, we're going to place it in the oven at 180, and we're going to put it in for 15 minutes. Then we're going to take it out. We're going to lift it out of the tin. We're going to wrap it completely in aluminium foil, and then we're going to put it back in again for another 35 minutes. If you were to leave it in the tin and cook it for the full time, it would be burnt to a crisp. So this is what we're going to do in the oven at 180 for 15 minutes, and we'll take it from there. 15 minutes has gone by, so we've got our bread, and you can see that it is set, but it's by no ways cooked, okay? You can see there's a nice crust coming on the top of it there. So what we're going to do is just put it aside for a second, and we'll get our aluminium foil, put it down there, and we'll basically lift our bread onto it, out of the tin, and on, and we'll just wrap it up. Just wrap it up in there. You put it back into the tin again. in the oven for another 35 minutes. So our 35 minutes is up and we've just taken the bread out of the oven. And I haven't checked it yet, but I'm assuming that it's just going to be perfect. So first things first, just be careful, it's going to be very, very hot. Take it out of that tin. Let's unwrap it. And look at that. That is perfect. It's crispy. I'm just going to lift it up. I'm not going to hold on to it for too long, because it is steaming. But look at that. So as it cools down, that crust on the top will get a little bit harder, and that's exactly what you want. And look at it, it's just perfect. I can smell it, and it smells beautiful. I can't wait to get a slice off the end there. It's the crustiest bit. And there you go, it's that simple. So there you have it, Guinness and treacle bread. And as I mentioned in there, you can use any other beer or stout in there. You don't need to use Guinness. You can also use honey or maple instead of the treacle. And you can also add grains and nuts in there into the mix just to give it that extra bite. I love making this recipe because it's just different from other breads. You're heating up the liquids, you're adding it to the dry ingredient, and so it starts cooking before you can put it into the oven. It also differs, you have to take it out after 15 minutes to wrap it so it doesn't burn. So it's unique in that sense. This reminds me of early in my career in the hotels and cafes and restaurants that I worked at. We used to make this bread a lot because it goes so well with soups, salads, and also main meals. You can make massive batches of this mix, bake it, cool it down and freeze it because it freezes so well and comes out just like fresh bread. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know your comments down below, and like, share, and please subscribe to our channel on YouTube so we continue making good videos. See you soon.